Hey, this is Russell Freschel from Lost No Longer Productions, and you're listening to the Grawlix podcast, and it's so awesome. I hope you keep listening, because if you don't, I'll find you, and I'll beat you senseless.
Hey everybody, this is Jesse from the Grawlix podcast, and today I am joined with a special guest, Mr. Ben Kruger of Lost No Longer Productions. A good friend of mine. We've known each other for years and years. Before we get started, I do want to throw out just a quick disclaimer that we are recording on a digital recorder that I have not used before. So if you hear some interesting audio clicks or pops, that may be because I'm using different tech, which is kind of a thing I do. Seems like every time I record, I'm using something new. So, Ben, how are you, sir?
Can I drink this while we're talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Just don't set it right next to the recorder.
No, I won't. I promise you I won't. So.
Or all we'll hear is the delightful
Do you need
fizzing...
an advertisement, too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Drink some here. It's so good. Or is that product placement that you can't have?
Oh, no.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
they'll be fine.
We'll be like Nathan Barnett then, and we'll suddenly be like the spokespeople for Hee Haw.
We're not...
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're not giving us any money to say that. So that's like free marketing. So
Yet.
Right,
Yes.
right. I mean, so Hy-Vee, feel free to give us a call.
Yes. I mean, either them or Fairway will give us a call about Hillbilly Holler.
Yeah, well, yeah, one of them. If they're smart.
If they know how to do business properly.
Right, if they know what they're doing.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How are you doing?
Oh. I'm doing good. I'm a little nervous doing something like this because I do not do these types of things. And I don't like the sound of my voice if I'm just talking. So if I stutter or mumble or ramble, I don't mean to. But otherwise, I'm pretty stoked that you're at my house.
Yeah.
And we made a really awesome video, and we've had a lot of fun. We watched some pretty awesome movies. Billy Johnson Saves the World. Is that Daniel Johnson Saves the World? Oh, so sorry, Christopher Mim. I am so sorry.
That's funny because life imitates art. Because
Yeah.
that was kind of the joke in the other interview we did. Was me correcting you on that? So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that'll be funny because I loved them. I fell asleep through the Planet of the Moon Zombie one, but it was still really good. We caught back up with it this morning, so I was pretty happy about that.
Listeners, it's Memorial Day weekend as we're recording this, and I've spent the weekend up here in Waverly, Iowa, with Ben Kruger. And we watched some Christopher R. Mim movies, and we've just basically been having a good old time recording and just doing a lot of fun stuff. So, Christopher R. Mim's newest movie, I'm going to say it wrong now.
Yeah.
Danny Johnson Saves the World. Grawlix Podcast is a proud supporter of that film. We sent some money to contribute to that film. So
I know when I saw your name in the credits, I was like, it's a Grawlix Podcast. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, that's exciting.
And the best part was that we saw it together for the first time because you had not seen that movie.
No,
yet.
I hadn't. Yeah.
Because you brought it here sealed.
Yeah.
And I thought
it came in the mail. Was it yesterday?
Yes, because you sent me a picture on my phone.
Right.
But I'm doing great. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited that you're here. Excited that we got to film, and it's been a great. And excited we got to do a little eskrima. That was pretty fun, even though I'm terrible at it.
No, you did great because that was that's how you start. Is just slow and real simple movements.
But it was fun, and I had a great time.
You picked it up really fast. I'm
going to give that who's the actor from Daredevil? Charlie Cox.
Yeah,
I'm going to give Charlie Cox a run for his money pretty soon. Here.
Yeah. And then Stephen Amell from Arrow.
Yeah, I don't think I can give him a run for his money. He's pretty legit.
Pretty legit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Ben, talking about Lost No Longer Productions a little bit, could you explain or give our listeners a little bit of a feel for what Lost No Longer Productions is? Because I didn't really say we didn't really say what it was.
It's just, I guess I would just consider it my film company. It started back when I was in college. I went to Wayne State College and I was in mass communications, and I started a couple of films there. I did 3 films while I was in college, feature-length films. I did Late Fees, and then I remade Late Fees, because the first time it was just like we just were making it up as we went along, filming it with a bunch of friends, and I liked the concept, but I didn't like the movie that we made, even though those guys probably thought it was the better of the two. But it wasn't well made, and it just was really cheesy. And so I redid it the way I liked it, and I was pretty happy with it. It was still really cheesy, but that was kind of the beginning of what was at the time Lost Cause Productions. And then throughout just a period of time, it became Lost No Longer Productions, and it's more right now what it is. It's a Christian-based entertainment, and it's just kind of just silly, crazy, weird, just goofy films that I make with my characters. And we make everything from videos for like youth groups and stuff like that, or we make videos just for fun for YouTube. And I like to do just whatever I can, whatever seems fun to me or whatever makes me laugh is what I usually do. I just got done with a film a couple of months back, Scenes from a Zombie Apocalypse, and it was honestly one of the favorite things I've ever done. And I had fun with it. I wanted to put it in the movie theater here in town, but my wife kind of persuaded me otherwise. But it's really, I have probably, I don't even know how many characters I have, but they work with puppets, they work with, just like your world, I have, or universe as we call it.
Sure.
We have our puppets, I don't even know, I'm looking at a big stack of puppets that I have on a puppet stand that I have, and there's a few scattered throughout the house right now, and there's also...
There's some neighboring puppets, because I brought a few up this weekend too, yeah.
Yes, we had a puppet extravaganza here, and it was a lot of fun. But really, it's just making films that inspire people, films that, I've done educational or ministerial films. Like I did this one series called Methods of Manipulation. You can see that on my website or my YouTube page. And I actually got paid for that. I made probably like $150 for that.
You are living the dream.
I know. The American dream right here. But no, I took it to a conference and I was teaching at it because I was teaching these people how to manipulate people. No, I was teaching them how to recognize and defeat manipulation. Yeah. And I made these really silly, weird films that go along with it with my character, Pastor Warren, and then his son. In the video, it was Billy. And they were just and it's like Billy manipulating his dad and Billy teaching people how to manipulate. And they were a hit. And so I took them into the conference and I sold them. And I sold them for $5 a piece. And I made a bunch of money. And so then I got to film my next project, which was this film called This Land. And you can see that on my website too, or on my YouTube page. So it's just really, just kind of a wide range of stuff. Lately what it's been is I've just been having fun. I've been really trying to I've tried to up the quality, trying to put together some better storylines. I'm trying to work on my character development and just having fun. I don't know what else to say about it.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's I guess some people might not like it, but it's just for me, it's whatever makes me laugh is usually what I run with. Not that I have a great sense of humor, but whatever usually if I'm entertained by it, I'm cool with it. And if you're not, I guess I hate it for you, but it's what I like to do.
Yeah, cool. So. We talked a little bit about college experience with filmmaking and kind of into what you're doing today. Let's take it way back.
Yeah,
let's take it back to the Hitachi. And did you make movies even before the Hitachi? The Hitachi being the nickname that you gave for your very first video camera.
Oh yes.
Tell me about.
Which was $1,000. Can you believe that? That camera at the time, which was a VHS huge camera. I remember I got it from the Nebraska Furniture Mart because my dad would basically steal my money and save it. So I actually had some at the time. Right. And he's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, "I want a video camera." And he's just like, "Okay," because my cousin Matt had a video camera, and we would make videos with him. Okay. And then. And some of the earliest stuff, I remember the first time I ever got in front of a video camera, I made a Western. And it was and I played every character, and it was just basically me standing in front of the camera, and we didn't know how to do cues, we didn't know how to edit, we didn't know how to do anything, so I would slap my leg every time I wanted him to stop the camera. Oh. So it's so you've got this video, and if I could find it, it would be gold. But I think he's long deleted it because it was pretty embarrassing because I dressed up like a saloon girl. but it was fun where it's I don't even remember, it was like Young Guns 2 or Young Guns 3 because it was before Young Guns 2 came out. Sure, yeah. And so it was me just I'd say a line, and then I'd slap my leg, and then I'd dress up as somebody else and say another line and slap my leg, and that's what we did for about 10 minutes, or not. I don't know about 10. It was probably 7 or 8 minutes long, and it was so stupid, but it was so fun, and that was kind of the beginning of it. and I was hooked. And so from there, I just, I got in touch with, I got that video camera, and it was like, that was what we did. It's like we have like tons of footage. Some of it is pretty crazy, and we had so much fun just making these weird, random videos of all kinds, like Death Ranger, Shags, Headache, Zombie and Burnout. Some of which you can see on my YouTube page, because I've done like a little doctoring to the Zombie or Z-Man and Burnout movie, and we had so much fun. I mean, a lot of good memories with all of that, because it was just us just being silly. The Blue Wonder had his origins at that time, because that was like Jacob and me one night we were filming, and so it was like, and then we had the Doogie Howser music at the end, because he's doing like the journaling scene. It was so much fun.
That's awesome, and I don't think I've ever heard that story about your first video, so that's cool, because it's almost come full circle, where you started out playing every single character, and now a majority of your videos, like with the exception of this weekend,
exception of you, you are the only person I've let be in my movies for a very long time,
right?
And a lot of it is time constraints, because you never know when people have time available,
right?
And other thing is just so that you can make it the way you want to make it. And so sometimes you can make what you want to make, but you can make when you want to make it. And so to me, I get a kick out of trying to figure out how to talk to myself, and how or even how to hit myself.
Right.
Or like, I'm trying to find new creative ways to just smack myself in the face on camera, or have this argument with myself, or do something just to kind of push the limits, whether it's I'm trying out green screens, or I'm trying out the split screens and the garbage mats, or whatever I can do just to make it entertaining to me. And I guess if there's something I'd like to be known for, like if, say, like, how Christopher Mim does the old 50s retro style movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like it that it would be nice to think someday, and probably not, but it'd be nice to think someday that would be kind of my thing, where it's like he plays every single character, and he has these halfway seamless conversations where, and like you've said a couple times, sometimes you can't tell. It's like, it's hard to tell that they're like, I've had people watch them before. Like, I remember I had some Modern Day Pharisee videos, and my friend Danny Ray from Kentucky or Tennessee, he showed them on his Facebook page, and some of his friends were like, "Oh, those guys really did it." And it's like, and I'm thinking, does he not know that I'm every single guy? And that guy apparently didn't realize that I was every single character.
I was just going to ask, how often does that happen? Where
not a lot of people. I mean, the people who watch them, for the most part, that I interact with, that would ask me questions like that, they know me, so they know that I'm going to that I'm going to play every character,
right.
But they still enjoy it. And then, I think that's maybe one or two occasions where people have said, "So you play every single character?" Usually they ask, and because it's just like, I've tried that. Like, I tried that when I lived in Fort Dodge, and I worked at this boys' home. I worked with a bunch of guys, and it was just so hard to work with them, because not only was the time element a factor, because how can you round up all these people and get them doing what you want them to do at the same time?
Right.
Without paying them.
Sure.
Because I'm not going to pay you to be in one of my films. I'm sorry. I'm pretty low budget.
You have to make money to spend money.
Exactly. And if I have money, I'm going to buy a bobblehead. I'm not going to give it to you. Sorry. So, I mean, I did feed you, though.
You did.
I did.
And you made sure that it was heavily caffeinated.
Yes, and I gave you hamburgers, and I gave you Tombstone pizzas.
Yes, yeah. So that's, in a sense, you did pay me, yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
That was really good hamburgers, though. The guacamole was good.
Yeah, fantastic, yes.
Yeah, but most of the time, I mean, the people that I interact, the people like at work that I work with, they're the ones who see them, and they know that I do that. So I don't necessarily see that, but I wonder if there's people out there that.
Well, and I've known you for years, and even when I watch them, you get so engrossed into each character that a lot of times it's just like, oh yeah, I sometimes I do have to remind myself of like, oh yeah, Ben does all this. Yeah,
the Ferris isn't real, or Trace Nabaki isn't real, or Russell isn't a real person.
Yeah.
Though he's probably my most developed character, and so he's the one that I feel like I was explaining when we were doing the soundbite. I feel like I become another person. I feel like it literally, like I could. Sure. It's like it's almost like you get this shot of confidence the moment you put the Russell teeth in, and you're able to just kind of be a little more cocky and a little more arrogant, and you have a lot more fun.
Right. Yeah. So recently, you wrapped up a huge project.
Yes.
Several years.
It was about a 2.5 to 3 year long project. It wasn't intended to be that long, but
Right.
it certainly was fun. It just got hard to do, and
Sure.
but it was a blast. It was lunch break,
Right.
and it started off where I got like a camera from my mother-in-law for Christmas. It was I still got it. It's a great little camera. And so it was easy to just take that to work. It was like a little pocket HD camera, and I just could take that to work. And so then on my lunch breaks, I had nothing to do because at the time I didn't live in Waverly. I lived about 20 miles away in Waterloo. And so for me to commute back and forth on my lunch break was not going to work because it would take up all my lunch break and I would be late. So I would just find things to do in Waverly. Most of the time I would just sit at the break table and watch Netflix on my phone. But then sometimes I would get bored with that, so I thought, why don't I just start making like a daily video for a while? And for a while it was every day. I tried to make a video every single day.
Right.
And I did that for I think close to 2 weeks, which is a big deal for me because I have
every day.
I have at the time I had 2 kids and we were living in a small apartment. And it was like I would come home and I would try to edit it as quick as I could because it wasn't just me that was popping in a video and popping it up now like on my iPad. It was I had to take it, import it into my computer, edit it, and put it together,
Right.
and then use the slow internet that we were basically kind of just hijacking from somebody else at the time in the apartment complex. So it was super slow. It took 20 minutes to upload something, which was relatively small. And then from there it just started growing because you got involved, and then I had other people get involved, and Josh Martin from Forgiven Films, he was in that for a little bit. He had some parts and he would come up and be supportive. And we actually got a pretty interesting following. I mean, not a huge amount of subscribers, but a lot of views for the I think it's 3,400. I was going to say 1,000, but that'd be a lie. But I'd like to think that. But it's about 3,400 to 4,000 views, somewhere in there, and about 30-something subscribers, which I thought was pretty good. But it tapered off towards the end because it just, with time, sometimes it just got so hard to, get it all put together. And so it would just, it's for a while there, it's I want to do a video a week and a video a week. And it was on a different channel. Yeah. So then I felt like it was just getting splintered out so bad. So I thought, I just gotta reel it in. And I have to wrap this up. And it's just, because it just was, the storyline was just getting so enormous. But it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. And I still, right now we're having a lot of fun. Yeah. Basically kind of making fun of it on in this new series of this show I'm doing on my regular channel, and that's what the whole thing was about last night, where we had we were going through the script of Lunch Break. So it's sort of like fiction imitating fiction, or I don't even know what it would be.
Is it metafiction, almost like the fiction of the fiction?
Yeah, and it was like Lunch Break is the fiction of my fictional universe, and so we're all sitting here trying, it's kind of set before Lunch Break even got shot. So now we're sitting there talking about how we're going to make this lunch break, and you're mad that you have to be a hologram. And
which I was actually super jazzed about.
Yeah, I know, and it was a lot of fun too, because it was putting that together. It's I just used a cell phone, and an old beat up cell phone, and then I put all this stuff. I'm like, he looks like a hologram. This is so cool. Yeah. And then it's and then you were the hologram, and we did almost like a cartoon, like an animated series.
Yes,
for a while.
That was really cool.
And it is cool. It was just it was a very ambitious endeavor for us, because there was a lot of special effects. There was a lot of and I know at the time I was happy with all the splintering out of the storylines and everything, but then towards the end it's okay, I gotta wrap some of this up. And so the last episode, if people watch it, it's all this stuff just suddenly comes to an abrupt halt. It's oh yeah, that's resolved. Oh yeah, that's resolved. Yeah. It's every loophole I can think of. It's I just figured out the quickest and easiest way to sum it up in 2 lines how that got settled. Right. And it's and then it was okay, that was done. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload it on my regular channel, in parts, because if we upload it as one super mega movie, it will probably be about 4 hours long.
Oh, I'd say. Sure. Was it 78 episodes?
78 episodes. Yeah. And I still have all of them on my hard drive, so I can take them and I can cut them down, cut down the title screens and the end credits and the bloopers and things, and just put it into one video. And I just want to see what it'll be, and I still think it's probably going to be about 3 hours long.
Oh sure, yeah.
Oh, easy.
When
it'll be like a Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah. Well, and, the format, you're talking about how the plot evolved, but the format itself evolved too, because in the beginning, you didn't script anything, did you?
No, all I did was I just had conversations with myself.
Right.
And I looked terrible. I watched those and I'm just like, man, I just look terrible in those old videos. And I would just sit down and have I wanted to have a minute long or 2 minute long video, but then they just kept getting longer. They were 3, 4, 5 minute videos, and sometimes even I know the last couple ones they were 8 minutes, 9 minutes sometimes, and it's oh wow, I just didn't because who wants to watch an 8 minute video on YouTube?
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't, so it's I was always trying to keep them short and keep them, but sometimes it was just too hard because you'd have so many ideas. But but at first we didn't script anything. Then I just started writing down ideas, and I have a whole book somewhere around here, honestly, of all of I don't know where it's at, but it was all of my episodes from season 2, I guess you would say, after I wake up at my house. They were all wrote, and I've got them all I've got it all scripted and everything.
Oh, nice.
And so
so you could have transcripts or scripts that you could go up with the videos. I'm just spitballing ideas.
Oh right? You got all these things I could put on eBay for sure.
Yeah.
Sell it and
Yep.
and I'll even sign it for you guys. I mean, it's okay.
When you're famous, it's gonna
It's hard being
get it now.
It's
get
hard
it now.
being this famous. I'm not. The 4 people that watch my stuff, I'm so excited. No, I think there's a couple more, but it's a lot of fun.
Very
I just
cool.
like to. And really, 5 people watch it. I have some videos. It's that I love, and only 5 people have watched it, and I'm just that's too bad for the rest of the people that didn't watch it, because I think this
is the best.
This is
one.
fun to me. Yeah. So it's
exactly.
I don't make it just for people. Sometimes I make it for me. I hope people watch it. Obviously, otherwise, why would I put it on YouTube?
Right.
But I enjoy it so much that if they don't, it doesn't break my heart. If I lose a subscriber, or if I gain a subscriber, I try not to let it affect me too much. Though with my zombie movies that I did just recently, I got I think 15 subscribers, which for me is
wow.
It took me. It took me 4 or 5 years being on YouTube to get 100 subscribers. So it was just so it was for me to get there, I was just yes. I remember I was at 99, and there was a guy from work, and I said, dude, if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be the 100 subscriber. He's and he gets on his phone. He's let me do it for you. I'm oh, thank you. And I'm still only at 103 the last time I checked. And that doesn't, like I said, but it is what it is. I'm still having a good time, and I'm hoping that sometimes people will go back and watch them if they find something entertaining on it, and then they'll go back and they'll watch it. But I've also deleted a bunch of earlier videos on my main channel too.
Sure. When you've had things like test animations, and just playing with different software and
exactly. I put stuff up and then I'm that's not even necessary anymore. Or
do you still have you had a split screen tutorial? Do you still have that up?
I think I do on my Vlog No Longer channel. I do have a split screen tutorial, and I could put up another one sometime. I was trying to show you today some of that, and we had a little trouble with Manicorn, and it was
well. That's not unusual at all.
I know, but it was more on my end than his end. He was so cooperative, and he had such a good spirit about himself, and it was just nice.
He has his good days,
So,
but a broken clock is right twice a day. So
yes, absolutely. I don't even know what you meant by that, but
well, speaking of, since we're on the topic of puppets, real quick, we kind of alluded to the fact that you use puppets, but what got you into puppets? Why did you want to incorporate puppets into what you do?
Because I like them, and
that helps.
And I like working with kids. Mm-hmm. I do puppet shows every week at my church, and the kids just love it, and I like doing it. And it's the one thing I feel that's really something I get passionate about when I'm working with kids. That I get to do some puppet shows at a couple of churches every year, and they're always asking me to come back, and it's really an enjoyable thing. But I like puppets. I've always liked puppets. I could never afford puppets, and then somebody one time at when I was living in Fort Dodge, this guy who used to work with puppets, he got out of it because he hurt his wrists, and so he was he gave me a deal on Roger and Sheila, those 2 puppets.
Yeah, your Muppet-looking puppets.
And then I have 2 smaller ones. I have Theo and Rihanna, I think her name is. I'm not sure. Her name kind of goes different things. My daughter tries to name her something else sometimes.
Sure.
But I got each of those, which are normally they're $200 for all of those. He gave me half price.
Oh wow!
So I just had some money. I just happened to have some money, so I said, "Here we go." And then I got Chicky, and then I got Monkey, and then I got a bunch more, and then a lady who used to be a puppeteer at her church. She retired because she got arthritis in her hands and she just couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So she donated to me like all of her puppets, which that's how I got Ivan. That's how I got I don't even know like a Skip the Scout and some of these other ones. And some of them I picked up from VBSs. Some of them I picked up from Goodwills, and some of them I picked up from just like off the internet. Like a couple of them, like Chicky. Chicky I got from a toy store in Fort Dodge. Tomfooleries was the name of it, and he was like $20, and he's actually he's a Folkmanis puppet, and that's from that whole the whole stand that I have in my office here. That is that was from Tomfoolery when they went out of business. Like my mother-in-law got that for me for Christmas.
Very cool. Yeah.
So I just like working with puppets. I like doing different voices. Mm-hmm. And I'm always just fascinated. I've watched documentaries about Elmo and documentaries about Jim Henson and documentaries about some of these guys. Not that I'm an expert on it, but I just whatever kind of interests me, that's what I go after. And what I really wanted to get into right away when I got Roger was I wanted to get into ventriloquism.
Oh yeah.
That is very fascinating to me, and I really enjoy it. My wife would say otherwise, but I don't think I'm half bad at it sometimes.
Sure.
But it just takes a lot of practice, and I haven't done it in a long time. But I used to try to do that with some kids. Like I would try to talk and go through lessons and stuff like that, and do stuff like But it would just it just didn't work. It just
sure.
It's a hard thing to do with kids and keep their attention. So it's much more the focus is people watching your lips.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes it's easier to get behind a stage. And she also gave me, the lady who retired from the children's church ministry, she gave me her stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's cool. So I have that at my church right now, and it's a huge wooden stage. And so what I do is then I can take it places, but most of the time I just leave it down there. Like the church I'm at, they just let me leave it down there, and I just do that. And it's every week I set it up, and then I just do, I do like a Bible lesson. I do, just something that's going to try to teach the kids something, but sometimes it's just goofy and weird too. Like the one I did yesterday, it was one of my favorites. It was one with, I have this puppet, his name's King Daryl. He made like one appearance on lunch break.
Oh yeah.
And then Chicky. He was Roger's dad in one of those backstory episodes, like I think in like the 40 in like the 40-ish episodes. So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Who would you say are your most popular puppets?
Chicky and Monkey.
Chicky and Monkey.
Yeah.
They're the stars. They're the divas.
They right now are the are the money makers.
The money makers.
Not really. They're the ones who are most noticeable and recognizable. Okay. They're the ones who people were like, they'll say, like, they're the ones I take places because they're just kind of a fun combination. They work. Yeah. I mean, they work well together. Like I can do their voices pretty well back and forth. I can play out, like when I do those things, even if it's a big deal, most of the time I don't write them down. Every week I just do it off the cuff.
Wow.
In my, like, it's just off the top of my head. Like I've had like the big ones I do once a year, I just go in there, I try to have an idea in my head, and they're just off the top of my head. I don't
Very
usually
cool.
write a whole lot down because I found that if I try to write out a puppet show, it gets worse. It's like if I try to just do like a puppet show like that, if I don't do it off the cuff, it's not as good. So I have to have an idea, and then I just run with it as much as I can. But those two, and then Roger's my favorite puppet. Uh-huh. He's by far, because he was my first. He was the first puppet, and he was the puppet that I used the most. And so he's always and forever will be my favorite puppet, because I did the Clone and Puppet saga with him.
You're right.
And there was just that was like the first time I kind of incorporated puppets and real human characters, and it was just a fun concept to me, and I've just enjoyed it. I've seen other people do it on YouTube. There's a lot of videos like that, and that's one of the reasons I like Danny Johnson Saves the World, because they have all these puppets that are and they're just cheesy as all get out, and yet it's still, you have all these humans interacting with them, and it's great, and they're taking themselves seriously. It's like the kids are talking with these puppets and they're serious about it. It's like it's enjoyable like that.
Fantastic. Well, real quick, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And is there anything else that you'd like to let us know? Like any big projects you're excited about that you want to let us know about?
I've got some. I don't know. Because I've got like stuff wrote down, but you never know because it's like the thing that I'm doing right now. Like I'm working on. I'm trying not to put a label on it. It's just called Lost No Longer. Mm-hmm. It's kind of inspired by shows like Portlandia, shows like The Idea at least. There's a show called Marin, and while the content it might not be what I'm looking at, but it's like The Idea where it's this guy who has a podcast and but it's like true to life. He's a comedian and he's just talking about his world and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this whole show Lost No Longer, is that it's a show, I guess, about trying to make videos, mm-hmm. and it's in trying to incorporate my characters, give them a little more depth. There's a little drama in it, but I try to keep them silly, and I try to keep them fun too. Right. But I also try to deal with a little bit of heavier themes, like, I've encountered some things in my travels that I really want to speak out about, right. And there's things I want to make sure that I bring to the table because I think I have a unique perspective on things that and that can be a good platform to at least bring it out. Where it's right. like if there's things I've seen in churches that I don't like that people do, or mm-hmm. things that I just see in general, like in human nature that I don't like, or things about myself that I want to poke fun of. And really it's just like it's me trying to find a way to communicate that, but all the while keeping it as light as I can, having fun, right. and trying to develop it, and just making trying to push the boundaries of my creativity and writing things, and trying to work on my writing, trying to work on my video editing, trying to work on things like the quality and the content, just always trying to take it to the next level so that eventually because not my end game, but right. definitely what I'd like to do is
5-year plan.
I don't know, 45 year. No, what I'd like to do is I'd like to somehow, I've got it in my mind right now to start something like a film festival here in Waverly or something like that, or something just along that lines where you could showcase stuff, where people who don't have big budgets, people who don't have a lot of influence, people who don't necessarily have the connections. Because I hate the whole you got to know somebody to get in somewhere. Yeah. I'm not always big into that.
You can't get into the Studio Actors Guild unless you've been in a movie, and you can't be in the movie unless you've been in the Studio Actors Guild and things like that. There's just, or it's like even on YouTube, there's things where it's like you get more widespread recognition if you do what these guys do, or these guys if you're or if they put their seal of approval on you, you're good to go. And I don't like that stuff. I just want to do what I want to do, and I want to and I want to have as much influence as I can with just being able to do what I want to do. Right. And just have the fun I can have, and just enjoy it. And I want it to be fun because I'm having so much fun doing all this stuff, and I don't ever want it to become irksome or boring. Right. No. Cool. Well, we're going to put all your info in the show notes, but how can people find you?
Okay, you can type in Lost No Longer Productions on YouTube, and there's a username. But because some people will find it, mm-hmm. and they'll see Russell Prestel, and that was originally there because I didn't know when I first started YouTube. I didn't want to put out my real name. Now I don't care. I just can't change it, or I haven't changed it. Right. So it's Lost No Longer Productions, and then you'll see a logo come up, and and you'll see the name Russell Prestel. That's me. You can click on any of my shows, and you can subscribe. I have a couple feature films on there. I have I think three videos on there. I have the Clone and Puppet Saga, I have the Memoir of Melnovia, and then I have the Season, and those are all over an hour. And then I have a lot of shorter projects and things like that. And
cool. And can people find you on Twitter or Facebook?
Not so much Twitter. I'm not very good at it, and I still don't know how to tweet or. Sure. It's cool. I mean, but it's like I follow people. I have 7 followers.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm one of them. Yes.
I think you are.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I hope so.
Boy, I'm going to check that.
Yeah. Why don't you check that? Did you comment on my last video?
What was the last one?
That was real cold, Keith. But no.
So then Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. You can type in Lost No Longer Productions. Right. The last person who clicked on it, hey, he was from Zimbabwe, and I don't even know who that guy is, and I don't even know how he found my stuff or my site or my page. But I was like, hey, I'm big in Zimbabwe today, buddy.
Whoa. Zimbabwe to go.
Yeah, you're good at that.
That's kind of.
We were watching Dracula Untold earlier, and and man, he's got all those coins on the floor. And I said something, and you're like, not to coin a phrase. I was like, oh, boom.
Yeah, that's my thing.
That's why you're doing the podcast.
Yeah,
because you're good with those words. You're the spinner with the words, and I'm just the guy who doesn't like the sound of his own voice. So, can you make me sound a little more manly with this?
Can I adjust?
Yeah, can you adjust it? It's like, is there like a little tweaker that says, yeah?
I'll talk to Randy.
Manliness level. I'll tell the viewers something. I'm not ashamed to say it. You know how many times that people think I'm a woman over the phone? I'll call Mediacom, and they'll be like, hey, I'll be like, my cable or my internet's not working. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh. I'm like, really? I'm like, but then after a while, it's like you just go with it because you're like, they're going to be nicer to you because they think you're a lady, so it's great.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So you just do kind of a more improv practice there.
I guess so, but it's like, but I guess the worst one was the time I tried to cancel my Discover card, and they're like, "Oh, we need to speak to your husband," and it's like, yeah. I was like, and I was just like, I mean, my wife's sitting next to me laughing, and I was like, "This is Ben Kruger. This is."
Yeah.
My husband. This is, you're like you're getting all flustered and you're getting all awkward, and then it's like, and there was another time too where I what had happened? I can't even remember now, so I'll have to just let it go. Oh yeah, there's been so many times like that they just do stuff like that. So that's why I'm always like, when you said podcast, I was like. I was like, okay, that's fine.
You throw on the radio voice. This is Jesse Keefer from the Grawlix podcast. Cats and dogs and cats. I don't know.
This is Batman.
Yeah. Where is he?
No, I'm sorry, Batman. Where's your wife at?
Batman.
This is Batman. Honest, don't you hear my voice?
Where's your husband, Batman?
Stop it. Thank you for letting me do this.
Thank you, Ben.
Randall, thank you.
Hey, guys. If you haven't already, please check out the Grawlix podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. You can do all the things. Remember, we have our regular podcast every month, as well as Grawlix Nights and Grawlix Bites. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Grawlix Podcast. The Grawlix Podcast is a production of Electronic Media Collective and Vorpal Arrow Studios. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. To hear more, visit GrawlixPodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GrawlixPodcast and like us on Twitter, Twitter.com/GrawlixPodcast.